Here with us live and direct on ASO Television. Today is the first day of December, and December, we all know, in Christendom is a period we get prepared for the coming of Jesus Christ as a child.
Of course.
So you can imagine you setting the tune of the month for us by appearing on television and speak to Nigerians.
Yeah.
So if one asked you to further explain what is it all about, the commission?
The Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission is about the coordinating and superintending over the activities of Christian pilgrimage from Nigeria down to the host country, particularly Israel. And we have Rome included by the history of the church. We also have Jordan, which is also part of the places that Jesus went, spread the gospel across the river Jordan and the Jordan itself. And also we have Greece, which is also part of where the Bible was actually written, and most of the prophets and Apostle Paul went there for missionary joining. And of recent, we're talking about Turkey, which we have where the house of Paul itself is in Tasso. Of recent, I went there to see the house of Paul in Tasso, and also where the Christians were first called Christians.
Tasso is where?
Tasso is in Turkey.
In Turkey?
Yes.
Oh.
And where the
present-day Turkey?
Yes, present-day Turkey. Where the Christians were first called Christians is called Antioch in the Bible, in the book of Acts. Is also in the present-day Turkey. I've gone there. And thanks goes to the Catholic Church, which were the first church, and they have been managing all these sites. And you go there, you see the same sites are being managed historically, up to date. And you will sit down there. Like I went to Tarsus, I took water, and the well that Paul was also taking water, and I drank the water. What a blessing. And when you read these things in the Bible, when I was a kid, I used to think that they are not physical places here on earth. But behold, the geographical aspect of it is there. You go there and you see it, and you still feel the impact as a child of God. And so these are the places that we are given mandate by our act to still exploit to other sites. There are different places, the house of Abraham where it is today, and so many places that we're still exploring, so that the Nigerian Christians will enjoy through the commission going to these places to dedicate their life and also worship God. And also remember that we have a country called Nigeria that need prayers, and also needs to have stakeholders like them who have gone for pilgrimage, and they are awarded the title and the certificate of JP, which you know that when you reach that status, you are a stakeholder not only in the church but in the country, that you should be able to behave well and contribute positively to the growth and the peace of the country.
Okay, what's the abbreviation of that JP? You mean, what is it all about? The full meaning?
Jerusalem Pilgrim.
Okay. So whoever goes and comes back becomes JP?
Yes, you're JP.
Okay.
Yeah.
If for any other reason you go and you didn't return and you continue to Europe, are you equally a JP?
Well, in the first place, you have violated the Constitution of Nigeria. You have gone against the law of Nigeria. You've gone against the law of the Commission and the law of immigration, all of that. So you are being considered as a criminal.
Okay, not JP this time.
No, you're a criminal.
I will get back to that particular aspect. But let me just find out from you, the Executive Secretary, basically, who controls your activities?
Well, our activities, first and foremost, we have a mandate been established by the Parliament of 2007. That's where we drive our power. The Nigerian National Assembly enact that parliament by the approval of the President. That is first. And then we're being supervised by the Office of the President through the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. And then we have the Chief Executive, which is myself. We also have the board. And so I run day-to-day activities with the management. Okay. And so we are under the office of the Secretary to the Government, who takes our report to the President. Okay. So that is the hierarchy that we have.
Okay, you're under the presidency.
Yes, we're under the presidency.
Can that be seen, those kind of commissions, can they be seen to be political or non-political?
It depends on the mandate. I don't think the commissions such as ours look in tune to be political, because we're dealing with faith. And dealing with faith, of course, you will be very, very careful to make sure that what you are doing, you represent the faith. Yeah. And the Bible talks that we are the light of the world, we're the salt of the earth. And that alone is something that we try to make sure that we portray. If at all there is anything we need to do, that our commission should be the one to set the pace for others in government, to see that we are doing basically what is right. Of recent, we appeared at the Senate Public Accounts Committee, and of course we did give them every rundown of what we're doing in terms of finance, and that shows that we are up to the accountability expected by the country. In another way, when we talk of politics, yes, definitely as human beings, you must have interests. We're made as political animals. Yeah. So we need to also gear it towards where it does not affect the work that we are doing, but it should be something that will build the country and something that will help foster whatever we will give as our own contribution in humanity.
Can you talk to political authorities?
Why not? Okay. I have a double cap. I am in the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission. Also, as a religious leader, I'm the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, the 19 northern states, and Abuja. And I have a history of being CAN chairman from state to the zonal level of North Central, and then up to the region now. So I have that, which I have interacted so much with politicians and also talk to them from the point of authority. So definitely I have that right to speak to them.
I can imagine that the position you hold is not an easy position, because obviously whether you are talking as a clergy or you are talking as a person serving the government, one wouldn't know, but we keep praying for you.
Thank you.
When it comes to Christians, how do you look at Christianity and the number of churches that we have around in this country, and all of us are under the umbrella of being Christians, and there is a political association that's called Christian Association of Nigeria, or religious body, so to speak. Let me be frank to myself. So how do you get those who intend to go to Jerusalem and those places so far mentioned?
Well,
how do you get them?
We get them through the churches. First and foremost, we have all our offices in the 6 geopolitical zones. Secondly, we have the government-established Christian Pilgrims Welfare Board of different states, almost in all the 36 states, inclusive Abuja, the federal capital. Yeah. Just few states that do not have, but we are making effort to make sure that they have. And so pilgrimage is already part of our faith. Like I began by saying that Jesus also went for pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Remember that the 3 wise men also, they were on pilgrimage. Most of the apostles, they went on pilgrimage. And so this is part of our belief, that we go and see where our Lord Jesus Christ was born, was spread the gospel, where he performed various miracles like walking on the Sea of Galilee, and where he was also being crucified, and where he also rose from the dead. And beyond that, we also need to know the the biblical history of the journeying of the children of Israelites, beginning from Abraham himself and going to Moses, who took the children of Israel from Egypt. And that is where Jordan comes in, where he stood on Mount Nebo to see the promised land, but he couldn't enter.
Okay.
Then along the river Jordan, along the Jordan to where you meet, where Elijah caught up to heaven, and the sons of the prophets saw him going to heaven with a chariot of fire. And then you meet River Jabbok in the same place, historically, where Jacob left his father's house, Isaac, to his uncle's house, Laban.
You mean all these accounts are there?
Yes, and he rescued with the angel on the road there. And also when he was returning back, where he then reconciled with his brother, senior brother Esau in the same river Jabbok. These are significant places that have good lessons for us to learn. And apart from that, we have Mount Sinai, where Moses stayed in Egypt and received the Ten Commandments. These are part of history. And so then we'll come to
Mount Sinai is in Egypt, and Egypt is Africa.
Yes. So
are they sharing the mountain? The Israelites and the Egyptians?
These are places that in olden days, they were nothing like countries.
Okay.
So you don't talk about countries those days. You talk of kingdoms, you talk of who are the powerful empires at that time. So it's now that we have countries that you look at it, how comes this one is in this country, that one is in that country. So you come to the history of the New Testament, the apostles. And that's where we come to mention Rome and how the church started there to be adopted as a state church, which becomes a Roman Catholic all over the world. And then you also go back to the days of Paul, how he took the gospel to different places, from his hometown in Tarsus to Antioch, to Rome, to Greece, and back to Israel, going to Jerusalem, and so many places which you see in the book of Corinthians, Galatians, Acts of the Apostles. These are all the places that Apostle Paul did lay the foundation, and yet he was one of those who was not privileged to be the disciples of Jesus Christ when being alive. But he joined the faith after persecuting the church. But yet he did tremendously great to expand the gospel of Jesus Christ. So these are all areas that we've been given this mandate to move on and to see how we can get Christians to build their faith and make sure that, of course, we have the right knowledge about our Bible and also behave well and dedicate our life fully well to the service of God and humanity.
Okay. So how do we get those who go there?
Yeah, like I was saying,
it is because we have very many churches, but they are Christians.
Yeah, these offices are there to represent us. In the States, you can go and get form for going for Jerusalem. We also have a website that you can go there and get information. We also have the office here in Abuja, the headquarters. You can come and get the form. And then when you get the form, it is then we'll show to you the procedures, tell you the time you will be going. For instance, for now, we are giving a package of 1.5 that is taking you to Israel and Jordan, 2 countries. And then that package is inclusive the airfare, the hotel, the road transport, the feeding. That's all that puts in. And 1 or 2 days among the 8-9 days will be there outside, moving from Jerusalem, from Israel, from Tel Aviv, where the plane will land, down to other parts of Israel, up to Jordan by the border, and you enter Jordan. you will have a Nigerian dish, which will be given to you. These are all part of what is in the package. And these are the process it goes. The other aspect of it is that we have private companies who are registered with us, private tour organizations, who also, when you register with us, you will now get pilgrims to go. But in this way, the pilgrims that you get them to go, we have the responsibility of screening them. We screen them. You write to us with the list to go for screening. And why we screen is to make sure that those who are going, they are sound healthy. Okay. Because the mandate is making sure that Nigerians do not go there and then fall sick and die. So they are healthy. And secondly, we also fish out those who have interior motive for traveling. That is, they're going there to abscond, not to come back. And so these are the purposes for the screening. And other obvious reasons that we do the screening, and the clean list of the screening will be sent back to the office for us to vet, and then we'll process for visa. And because of the mandate we have, we're the only authority that we can write to Israel and they can give you the tour visa. Otherwise, nobody does that. And that's what part of the work we do. So you don't go out of this country for pilgrimage, Christian pilgrimage especially, and on your own you get visa, no. And at the same time, we also have the control when it comes to the issue of pocket money, BTA, and all the rest. We are the only organization that is to work linked up with central bank to give you the dollar according to government price, So this is the reason why we're there to coordinate. And if people abscond, we're to be blamed because probably we do not do our work very well. And to the glory of God, we have controlled that in the last few years that I came into the commission. And we believe that. So this is how people come in. So right now, people are traveling through private tour organization, Christian private tour organization that are registered with us. Then the state also will go through at the same time probably with the federal. The states have also gathered pilgrims. You will see that a governor want to sponsor about 1,000 pilgrims or 2,000 pilgrims. That is part. And the other part is private people who self-sponsors who want to, I'm not being sponsored by anybody. Okay. I want to, like you, you just say, I want to go. I want to follow the Christians to go there. Any group I want to go. Then you pay. And then you followed, maybe you follow the Abuja group who are going, or you follow the Enugu group who are going, or you follow the Lagos group who are, it depends from where you are in the country. So you will join the believers there. It's going to be a very wonderful experience that over there you will be happy singing and hearing lectures and seeing places that you've been reading for years in the Bible.
In the Bible. Wow. Do you have a number being controlled for those who intend to go in a particular period of time?
No, well,
or as many as
they come, because we are looking for pilgrims. We go sometimes with 10,000. There was a time we go to almost 17,000 people that goes to pilgrims. To the glory of God, the Commission have been doing very well. Apart from COVID-19 that came and slowed business globally, the Commission have been doing very well. But yet, after even during the COVID, we traveled. Wow. And we set the pace. And that's why the pilgrimage activities came up lively and is moving very well and successful. We're doing a lot of exploit in terms of...
You know, in my young days when I was in primary school, even to the secondary school, in fact, when I used to hear about Jerusalem, I thought it was in heaven. Quite frankly, it was one day that I picked a newspaper and they said the government of Israel in Tel Aviv. Yes. Which government in Tel Aviv? Honestly, I never knew. I thought it was a description of something in heaven.
That's what I used to think.
Until when I finished And I realize it's equally until they are even fighting.
That's right.
And it is called, and you go there, you meet people fighting.
Yeah, and you are not far from the truth. The Bible also talk about New Jerusalem. That's a different subject entirely. New Jerusalem, the last day, when we will all be in Jerusalem. It's a new Jerusalem. So that one is in the book of Revelation. It's things that will happen after the resurrection. So these are not things to be discussed here.
I understand.
But then you're not far from the truth. So there is the Bible, the Jerusalem we've been reading is in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Mm-hmm. And so I used to think like...
And the same Jerusalem that is fighting.
Yes, the same Jerusalem they are fighting.
And the same Jerusalem that pilgrims go for pilgrimage.
Yes.
So both religion and politics mix up.
Mix up together, all together.
Wow. Well, it's about time for us to invite those who are watching us. I'm catching the phone with the Executive Secretary of our Nigeria Christians Pilgrims Commission in the person of Reverend Dr. Yakubu Pam. He's also the chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Northern Nigeria, speaking to us on issues that possibly most of us do not really know. And for him to speak at the national television like the way it is only good for us to yield the microphone to you. In case you want to ask one or two questions, you can join us on the conversation. The number is already on the screen for you to be with us. And then you ask questions. The Reverend Doctor is here, that's Yakubu Pam, to explain to you or the basic thing probably you need to know. I just wanted to find out from you, sir, do you have those who are going for pilgrimage before Christmas?
Yeah, we have a lot of, presently we have almost 10 states ready for pilgrimage, and we are still working on it and see the possibility.
Okay, 10.
Yeah, about 10 states that are paid, ready to move, and then we'll have private sponsors, self-sponsored that also are there. And like I said, pilgrimage is ongoing now because the private tour organizations who registered with us, they go almost every week. They are there in Israel. And one good news that we have is that the Israeli authority, through one of us, a Nigerian, have approved an airline, Peace Airline, to the glory of God, the only black man whom the Israeli government approved to start airlifting people to Israel. And he's going to do that maybe once a week or once in 2 weeks. Okay. And that is reducing the moving from one country to another before you reach Israel. It goes direct from Abuja direct to Israel, and from Lagos direct to Israel. Wow. So that's what we are celebrating, and very soon it's going to be. These are the efforts we've been able to make along the years, and it's yielding fruits now, and it's also building a very good bilateral relationship between Nigeria and Israel. And the ambassador, Mr. Goodman, is a very good man indeed, because he's put his effort on this. And I believe that with prayers of Nigerians, we will be able to achieve a lot.
Okay. Yeah, we shall go on break. By the time we shall have returned, we will continue on the discussion. And again, we'll be expecting more of this interaction from those who are watching us to call and ask questions for clarification. Reverend Dr. Yakubu Pam, he is the Executive Secretary, Nigeria Christian Pilgrims Commission, speaking to us here live and direct. So it's an opportunity for you to speak with him. Of course, you know that today is the first day of December, and that's the month, of course, we get ready for Christmas. So we'll take a break. We shall return briefly after that. Don't go away.
The welfare of millions of people for generations to come.
Yes. Reverend Dr. Yakubu Pam is still here with us. Let me ask you this question while we expect further calls from people who are watching us. Do politicians come to you and seek advice?
Why not? Politicians come to seek advice, not only advice, prayers. We pray with them, we counsel them, and we also give them our blessings through the Word of God. Yeah.
Is it possible for you to take position?
Position as for what?
As for, you describe a human being as a political animal, right?
Yes.
Like you, how will you say about yourself?
Well, you're talking on the aspect that maybe I should take position in choosing who to vote or taking position.
Or probably advice?
An advice. Why not? I can do that.
Okay.
Especially for my community, for my people. People believe in you and they want counseling, you counsel them. But of course, if I'm going to take position, it should be a personal position too, that my vote can go in for maybe the person I want.
They want.
Yes.
What role can you play now to ensure that the country is stabilized? What role can you play, being an executive secretary to NCPC?
Yes.
What role can you play to ensure, usually the country as it is now, the Nigerians, so to speak, are a little bit either apprehensive or maybe so interested in seeing that 2023 elections should come and go peacefully. These two scenarios cannot be avoided, either be apprehensive or interested.
Well, for me, my role has always to reconcile in times of advocating that Nigeria must remain united, one, because this is the only country God has given us. We have no any other country, and by extension, Nigeria is the voice of Africa, the black man. And so I keep advocating. Number two is also to be a reconciliator at this point, that people need to hear from well-respected, distinguished Nigerians speaking out to reconcile whatever is going outside in the political arena. Because at this moment, there's desperation. People want to get position and power by all means. And so, but power comes from God. And for those who God gives them, you celebrate with them. For those God did not give them, you have words of consolence to them to also know that power comes from God and their own time will come. And this is how life will be. And it will continue like that. So to me, I think I have a role to play as a distinguished Nigerian. One thing I always say is that for us to still have this country moving, we must have well-respected voices to be speaking always for the unity of the country, and also to make sure that they lend voice into issues that will more unite us than divide us.
Have you ever, what can you say in describing yourself if you have been challenged by some other person or persons at the position at which you are, maybe looking at yourself as a Christian leader, and possibly you might have taken the position? Has it ever happened to you in your life?
Repeat it again, you said.
I wanted to just find out from you. Okay, let me say it this way. As a Christian leader, there is this noise often being made, Muslim ticket being done by the ruling party. You are a Nigerian, you are a Christian leader, and Christians are often saying that you can't work. Some are saying you can work. If somebody approaches you and asks you of your position as a Nigerian, as a leader, what will you say?
Well, for me, these are party arrangements, which I don't think I go into it. Usually the parties sit down, and whoever they choose to be their flag bearer is very, very important. But in the other aspect, I lead an organization like CAN. So if CAN said you should speak on our behalf and said no, then I speak on behalf of CAN. But I don't speak as an individual. I speak on behalf of CAN. But my personal view is that these are parties' arrangement. These are things that parties said. But Christian Association of Nigeria is a very big stakeholder in the country.
Yeah.
And so if they have a view, they put it together. And that's where probably they could ask me on that platform to speak for them. But otherwise, I don't speak as an individual and this and that. But to me, I think that these are all arrangements from party.
Has your actions or an action been misinterpreted by viewers or those who listen to you? In the course of speaking as a leader, this time around as a CAN leader, and you are equally a leader, executive secretary of Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission. In speaking as a leader of CAN, has you ever been misinterpreted?
I have never seen that, but rather I hear compliment over it because, of course, when you are standing for the people, you speak for the people. I also belong to the Northern Elders Forum, and sometimes we sit down there and they speak. So these are issues that whatever it is agreed, the leaders speak out. And when you speak out, you are not speaking for yourself. You speak for what the organization said you should speak. But I still repeat, on personal grounds, if I have anything, I rather go to the authorities and advise them privately than to go on the media to speak on my own personal ground and say that I am speaking on personal ground. No, I will speak as a good Nigerian, a distinguished Nigerian, and meet them where in the corridor of power it may be bitter, but I'll speak it to whoever need to listen to me. It may be good, but I also speak it to whoever listens to me. So this is the extent of leadership. But if people are not happy with what you said on behalf of organization, it's the cross of leadership too. So you can't run away from that because at each point you have the advantage and the disadvantage as a leader.
Did you ever read of a certain person who had wanted? I don't know if you did read, but I read where some other person or persons were like trying to go out to protest against your person.
Yeah.
Did you read about that?
Yeah, why not?
Did you?
I read a lot of things against me. Those who want to protest and all the rest, I read that. As a leader and a public figure, people throw stone on you every day. Jimba, even with what you're doing here, you get people who can throw stone on you. Yeah. So as a public figure, you don't run away from such things. They are there. But the reality is that criticism does not, or when somebody just raises a mere allegation, does not give it credit until it has been investigated and been by a well-recognized authority, and then it is being taken into recognition. But the major problem that we have, like you rightly asked before, we have Christians and we have Muslims in this country who are, in fact, if there's a country in this world that worship God very well, it's Nigeria, both Christians and Muslims. But why are we still having a lot of issues going on and as if we've not known God? The answer is still there, that we leaders need to search for it. One of it is that people are hungry, poverty is there. Our young people have nothing doing, and they are lazy too. Lazy in the part that some of them don't want to wake up to do work. In other aspects, we've not stand to our responsibilities to make sure that we create more jobs for them. So both from our part and from their part is there. And so you meet some of these people who go and write, they had nothing doing but to go to social media and write so many things. And they are there. You will also see responsible people sponsoring them to do that. And so I fall in this kind of category that you see those things flying against you, being sponsored by some people, you don't need to react. You need to look into it. Like the recent one that came up and said, oh, he has eaten the money from NCPC, EFCC should come, or whatever should come. We're coming to protest against him. This is my third year in office, and of course, the administration are aware that we have only been given money once for pilgrimage operations, but I have conducted about 3 pilgrimage operations with only money once. And nobody asks you how did you manage? What is the miracle? And you think you have money. I conducted pilgrimage operations to Jordan. That's the first one. I do the second one to Israel and Jordan. And the third one is to Rome. So putting all of this, some people think that we already have money. But the president, in his wisdom, he felt that he will not be giving money to us, the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission and Hajj Commission. And the Hajj Commission developed what they call savings scheme. And they already have enough money to do that. In fact, they were even saying they don't need government sponsorship. But it is only on the Christian side that we also say we are needed to advance up. So if you say somebody eats money, come and investigate, it means a lot of money is there.
Yeah.
So, but they don't know. Yeah. They don't know. So that is the issue. They don't know. And I believe that very soon we'll get out some of these things to be investigated, and you will see that they are all fake issues. And I'm sorry to say that very distinguished, well-respected Nigerians follow the social media without digging to know and investigate. So many rubbish is on the social media. But that's not to say that all story in the social media is not true. There are really, really many true stories. But I am glad when they accuse you and your conscience is very clear, you don't need to fear accusation of anybody. You rather stand to speak out that this is this. And those who have a malicious mind over it, they know what they are looking for.
So what advice will you give to Nigerians? Because we are on the path to general election. We are in December, and that's the last month for the 2022, the year 2022. And then by January, we start a fresh year, that 2023, where elections will now be conducted. And as a leader in this country, what advice will you give to politicians and to us who are considered to be illiterate?
Well, for me, the biggest advice I will give, first and foremost, everybody need to go and have his PVC, which is what we have been preaching, talking. Number 2, I think we should all know that this country belongs to us, both on tribal level, both on religious level, ethnicity, whatever. We all have a stake in this country. That is why I've been going out to advocate interfaith. I speak to Christians, I speak to Muslims. And to the glory of God, the crisis that was in southern Kaduna 2 years ago, I went into it, intervened, and other places. It was an interfaith crisis, but yet both the two faiths listened to me, the Christians and the Muslims. They listened to me and were able to reconcile them, even though not perfectly, but you still have a couple of crises going on. So we should all know that whether Christian or Muslim, this country belongs to us. And the earlier we come together and see how we can sort out our differences and share good responsibility to each other to make sure that we put this country together. Even before the election, I believe that good Nigerians need to sit up and still talking. And good politics is politics of ideas for the politicians. Ideology is the mood of politics, the right mood of politics. You don't just go criticizing. And I pity the social media, the way they fashion pictures. shopping the things and fixing issues. I know, so it's becoming more insultive. It's getting out of culture, getting out of the way we Nigerians and black people believe. So we should have some decorum of respect to each other when it comes to even this politics. Yes, I should do it in such a way that I remember there's still tomorrow I'll meet with my brother.
Indeed.
And so this, to me, this is the advice I will give to all of them. And whoever becomes the winner, we celebrate him.
Okay.
We do not want this country to go down. And even the losers, we must also identify with them. And I will give advice. Whoever God gives to set up this country to be the leader, to be the winner, we should not play the power game of the winner take it all.
Okay. For
the sake of the varieties of this country. Thank you.
Doctor, we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's just about the size of the program, Political Viewpoint on ASO Television. Of course, the fact that calls didn't come is not to say that the program was not viewed. I must confess. I thank you for taking time to be with us. It's not easy to be able to leave what you should do and then you find a way to be on the television like this to speak to Nigerians. And of course, the information you pass across must have been received. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Kimber.
Well, we'll be speaking really with Reverend Dr. Yakubu Pam. He is the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, and also the Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Northern Nigeria, who had already spoken to us, and I believe the knowledge he impacted was well received. That's about the size of the program. We shall be doing that again. That's the end and the last one for this week. We shall be coming next week with you with some other discussions. Do have a very lovely evening. My name again is Topsy Gimba. See you again and bye-bye.